Hello everyone, I am Satels and today it's time for a new archviz Blender lesson. Today I will teach you how to model and texture a simply and realistic faucet for your archviz projects in Blender. In this tutorial I modeled in Blender 5.0. So let's get started. Select everything with A and delete it with X. Go to Add Mesh Cylinder. Move it with G+Z+1 to position it at the origin. Press Ctrl plus A and apply the location. Press N to open the sidebar on the right. Change the dimensions to X and Y to 0.05 and Z to 0.1. Press dot on your numpad to focus on it. Or if you don't have a numpad, go to View, Frame Selected. Press Ctrl plus A and apply Scale. Switch to Edit Mode with Tab. Switch to Selecting Faces with 3 and select this face. Duplicate it with Shift plus D. Return it to its original position with Escape or right mouse button. Scale it with S for around 0.5. Extrude it with T for around 0.15. Duplicate it with Shift plus D and move it to the left with Y for around -0.2. Switch to the right orthographic view by pressing the red X on the gizmo or numpad 3. Rotate it with R for around -15 degrees. And move it with G plus Z for around 0.03. Select this face and press X to delete faces. Switch to selecting edges with 2 and select this edge loop with Alt. While holding Shift plus Alt, select this edge loop as well. Press right mouse button and choose Bridge Edge Loops. Click on this and change the number of cuts to around 35 and change smoothness to around 0.9. Switch to selecting faces with 3 and select this face. Bring it closer so you can see better what you are doing. Duplicate it with Shift plus D and return it to its original position with Escape or right mouse button. Extrude it with T for around -0.02. Insert the new face with I for around 0.002. Extrude it with T to the inside for around 0.002. Press Y to split the face. And return with Escape to its original position. Switch to Object Mode with Tab. Because we will extrude this part for 0.005 in the next step, we will move it up with G plus Z for that number, so our faucet is still positioned on the 3D cursor. Switch to Edit Mode with Tab, switch to Selecting Faces with 3 and select this face. Duplicate it with Shift plus D. Return it with Escape to its original position. Scale it with S for around 1.5. Extrude it with T plus Z for around 0.005. Select this part with L for linked. Switch to the front orthographic view by pressing the green -Y on the gizmo or numpad 1. Duplicate it with Shift plus D and return it with Escape to its original position. Rotate it with R for 90 degrees. Move it with G plus X to the right a bit. Turn on snapping by clicking on the magnet icon and change snapping from increment to edge. Move it with G plus X and snap it to the middle edge. Move it up with G plus Z for around 0.01. Turn on X-ray mode with Alt plus Z. Switch to selecting vertices with 1 and select these vertices. And move them to the left with G plus X for around -0.05. Turn off the X-ray mode with Alt plus Z. Press I to insert a new face to around 0.004. Extrude it with T for around 0.02. Bevel it with Ctrl plus B for around 0.015 with 5 segments. Add segment by scrolling the mouse wheel up. Switch to selecting edges with 2 and select this edge loop with Alt. Duplicate it with Shift plus D and return it to its original position with Escape. Move it to the right with G plus X for around 0.001 and fill it with F. Extrude it with T for around 0.02. Switch to the front orthographic view by pressing the green -Y on the gizmo or numpad 1. Select this with L for linked and press Ctrl plus I to invert selection. Press H to hide. Turn on X-ray mode with Alt plus Z and switch to selecting vertices with 1. Select these vertices. Press Shift plus Ctrl plus Alt plus S to activate shear. And shear it for around 0.15. Snap it with G plus X here to align it with unselected vertices. Turn off the X-ray mode with Alt plus Z. Select this vertex, and by holding Shift, select this one as well. Press J to join them. Switch to selecting faces with 3, and select this face. Hold Shift, and select this face as well. Insert the new face with I for around 0.0015. Turn off the snapping by clicking on this magnet icon. Extrude it with E plus X for around 0.015. Scale it with S plus X plus 0 to line it with the X-axis. Press Alt plus H to unhide the rest of the faucet. Switch to selecting faces with 3 and select this face. Switch to the front orthographic view by pressing the green -5 on the gizmo or numpad 1. Duplicate it with Shift plus D and move it with G to around here. Rotate it with R for 90 degrees. Scale it with S for around 0.15. And extrude it with E plus Z for around 0.05. Press L for linked. Move it down with G plus Z like this. Switch to Object Mode with Tab. Go to Modifiers, Add Modifier, Normal, Weighted Normal. Turn on Keep Sharp. Now you can add another modifier. Add modifier, generate bevel. Move the bevel modifier before the weighted normal. And you can change the number of segments to 3 or any other number you want for more details. You can change the amount to any number you want as well. I changed it to 0.0002. You can now turn off the Keep Sharp option in the weighted normal modifier. Switch to the material preview to add textures. Go to Material, click New, rename the cylinder to Faucet. Rename material to Faucet Metal or anything else you like. Change Metallic to 1 and Roughness to 0.2. Switch to Edit Mode with Tab and select this face. Click on this plus to add a new material. And click New. Rename the material to Faucet Mesh or anything else you like. Click on this little arrow and turn on Face Orientation. Press L for link to select this red part. Go to Mesh Normals, Flip, and now everything is blue like it should be. You can turn off the face orientation now. Place the cursor on the upper side of the screen as shown, and when you see a plus sign, just pull it down to the left by holding the left mouse button. Open the shader editor in the window you just created, and select Material Faucet Mesh. Change the base color to gray or any other color you want. Don't forget to click Assign to assign that material to the face that you selected previously. Click here to hide everything except your mesh. Change Metallic to 1 and Roughness to 0.1. You can change the color to lighter gray if you want. Go to Add Texture, Wave Texture. If the sidebar appeared, hide it with 10. Go to Add Color, Color Ramp. Connect the color from the wave texture with the vector from the color ramp. Connect the color from the color ramp to the base color from the principal BSDF. Connect vector from wave texture with UV from the texture coordinate. Go to UV Smart UV Project. Unwrap, click here again to unhide everything. Select the first color picker in the color ramp and move it to the right to around 0.33 or to any value you like. Select the second color picker in the color ramp and move it to the left to around 0.68 or to any value you like. If you want, you can select the first color picker in the color ramp again and adjust it more. Go to Add Color, Mix Color. Place it between the wave texture and the color ramp. Duplicate the wave texture with Shift plus D. Connect the UV from the texture coordinate with the UV from the second wave texture. Connect color from second wave texture with B from Mix. Change X in the second wave texture from X to Y. Play around more with color ramp colors if necessary. Change from Mix to Multiply and Factor to 1. Connect the color from the color ramp to the alpha from principal BSDF. Select the first color picker from the color ramp and move it after the second color picker so the colors can switch. Move the first color picker white to around 0.2. Move the second color picker black to around 0.4. Connect the result from multiply with the height from the new bump. Connect normal from bump to normal from principal BSDF. Press Ctrl plus right mouse button to remove the connection between the color from the color ramp and base color from principal BSDF. That is it, you have a faucet. I hope you learned something new. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you had fun learning with me, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have a Patreon with more exclusive content including unedited videos before I publish them on YouTube, 3D models, 3D scents, materials, etc. You can also download the free Blender guide, so feel free to check it out if you prefer text tutorials to video tutorials more. It is updated regularly. There is something for both free and paid members, so don't forget to check the link in the description. And if you have any questions, write them down in the comments. Happy blending everyone, bye, see you next time!